everyone, welcome back to my channel Eat, Burn, Sleep. I'm Yalda, and today I want to talk to you about a wonderful thing called earthing. When I started looking into healing my autoimmune issues about 10 years ago, I looked into everything. A lot of doctors were telling me that there were no studies showing a link between diet and ulcerative colitis, which is the first condition I was diagnosed with. So although I had a strong sense that it had something to do with it, I looked into other things, and indeed it is an area of things that got me the better. And one of the things that I do practice that I've come back to now is earthing. Earthing is basically getting energy, healing energy from the earth. It might sound like a little bit of a crazy hippie thing, but actually when you go back in time into the way we used to live, our grandparents used to live, great-grandparents and all these generations above, they were very close to the earth by, they were working with the earth with their fingers, they were probably walking barefoot in many places. People maybe, swam more in natural waters than we do now, and all these things are basically part of earthing. And I have myself noticed that if I go for a run in the gym versus a run in a park, I feel completely different. I don't know if you noticed, if you go and have a swim in the sea, you come out, you're so revived, much more than if you swim in a swimming pool. And that is because you're getting the energy of the earth. And the reason why I was inspired to finally do a video on this topic is because this morning I went to the Chelsea Flower Show in London. Today is the opening day. I was there very early morning it's a beautiful day today in London. The light was absolutely amazing. The gardens were stunning, and within half an hour of all this beauty, all this greenery, all this nature around us, there was this massive sense of calm that just started to be all inside me, and I could see all the people around me started sensing that. And after that we had a look at a garden that was done by the Duchess of Cambridge in favor of mental health. And nowadays, even in the UK, this earthing phenomenon is so well recognized that GPs, doctors, can prescribe garden therapy for people who suffer from mental health. And I mean, this is my interpretation on it, is I think it's in our DNA. We used to work with the earth, make fires, spend time, maybe wash clothes with running water outside. We were much closer to the earth than we are now. Now, we're in modern buildings with technology. We're completely disconnected from the earth. And there are so many ways for all of us to integrate that back into our everyday lives. Unfortunately, in London, I haven't got a garden, but I find that even buying flowers and doing flowers like I'm here in the background every day in my home makes me calmer. So I have this little weekly ritual where I buy flowers, not expensive flowers. I'll go to Tesco's and I'll come and I'll take the time to cut them and arrange them in a vase. I do two-three vases around the house, and that just relaxes me. I try and walk as much as I can. I try and walk through parks as much as I can. We're so blessed in this city of London where we have all these parks, and this country has done a great job at preserving that. And that does me a lot of good. But if you have the chance, if you do have a garden, if you have access to a garden, do it. Not only it's amazing for you, but it's also amazing for nature, because for the ecosystem, for the environment, for the bees. I don't know if you heard of that, but we have a huge problem with the bee population going down, and that has all sorts of consequences on the ecosystem. And it's important for all of us to reconnect to nature if we can. Even in the army, in the British Army, a lot of soldiers who suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder are made to do gardening or animal husbandry, because that is a way to reconnect to our roots, and it just calms our heads. And 60% of our neurotransmitters are in our gut, more than in our brain. Also, 70% of our immune system lines the gut lining. It's called GALT, gut-associated lymphoid tissue. Sorry. So if 60% of our neurotransmitters are in the gut and 70% of our immune system is in our gut, that tells us that if we feel good in our heads, we feel good in our guts. If we feel good in our guts, we feel good in our bodies. And in fact, it's linked the other way around. So that's why there is such a huge emphasis on nutrition and good foods in everything that I preach, because if we eat the right foods, we also feel better in our heads. It's a two-way street. So this is my take on earthing. So when I go to the beach, I take my shoes off. If I'm in the countryside or even in the park, sometimes I'm sitting on the grass, take my shoes off, put my hands on the floor. And there are days where, I know it sounds a bit crazy, but I do it. When I haven't been to the countryside for a long time, or I haven't gone hiking or walking. Recently, I spent a bank holiday weekend in London working, and by the end of it, I was going completely crazy. And I looked outside the window, and it was raining. And this is something I do, and I love doing, and it's a way of earthing, and it does me the world of good. I literally put my gym gear on. I'll go in the park and I'll run underneath the rain. And I feel like a tree hugger. I'm there in the park with the rain falling on my face and my hair, and I did that at 7 o'clock in the morning. I came back, I was drenched. I felt so good, jumped in the shower, did my hair, got ready, and off I was, feeling great for the week, although I had spent a weekend indoors, which is not advisable to do to anybody. The other thing that I do with earthing is when you fly, when you take a plane, that is basically one of the worst things you can do to your electromagnetic field, and it completely messes us up. We're so high. It's basically the worst thing when it comes to earthing. And so what I do to help myself recover from jet lag faster and stop the effects of that is, when I land, wherever I am, I have a bath. It is not ideal, it's not like swimming in the sea, but it actually starts resetting your electromagnetic field, and you start reconnected to the earth. So if you do a business trip, or if you travel, for fun, and you arrive late and you're exhausted, before going to bed, have a bath. Just spend 20 minutes in it, calm down, go to bed, you've done your bit of earthing, and you will feel better for it. I hope this answers some of the questions you guys have asked. You have asked me about the phenomenon of earthing. If you live in London this week, there's the Chelsea Flower Show. Definitely go and have a look at it. If you have a garden, start gardening. Even better for you than meditating. It's a form of meditation. It's going to make you feel so good, and a bit like cooking. And that's why I love cooking so much. It's you come back to your, your basic instinct. It's touching food, preparing food, feeding yourself, feeding your family. It's a very basic, almost animal thing. Not animal, but human thing, but that we have done right back. Which for me, and that's completely my interpretation on it, is also a derivative of this earthing thing that I'm talking about. I hope this video was helpful. It's completely, I've just decided to do it about an hour ago. I thought, okay, that's it. I'm going to tell them what I think about it. I want to share that, and I hope you enjoy it. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to have more information about what I do, you can go on eatburnsleep.com, or on my Instagram feed, eatburnsleep, Facebook and YouTube, which you're watching right now. Thank you.